My name is Dr. Sarosha Suthon. I will be the host for today's SynBio Forum 2022. This year we are on the topic of SynBio for Sustainable Development Goals, which we will discuss how SynBio will help us to reach the goal and how to connect Thai SynBio with international level. And we will have online channel with the record. So let's begin with warm welcome remarks from Dr. Kanjana Wanichakon, the Vice President of the Office of National Higher Education, Science Research, and Innovation Policy Council on Expo. Please welcome Dr. Kanjana ค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ Good morning everyone here at the auditorium and also online participants. Actually, Dr. Kittipong, I think he's also online with us. He's now joining the COP27 meeting in Egypt. We test the signal and it's not quite good, so he asked me to help convey his message, his opening and welcome message to you all. This always happen, because your iPad wouldn't cooperate with you when you need to open quickly. Okay. Yes. Well, first of all, it's my honor to welcome you all to the Synthetic Biology Consortium Forum 2022. This forum is a joint effort and commitment for the members of the consortium. We start with 17, and I have heard that it's growing. They are from both government and private sector and academia, not only big firms, but also startups and SME. So this is very good signs that, we have a common goals and we have a joint effort together to strengthen biotechnology community and advance the development of biotechnology research, innovation, and industry in Thailand, not only regional in Thailand, but also at the regional level and international level. Over the past year and a half, I believe that we have kickstarted this consortium. We have jointly developed a roadmap, synthetic biology ecosystem development roadmap together in an 8 years plans with the milestone along the journey. And we have identified a number of flagship projects, which I think today we will discuss in a detail on Synthetic Biology Academy, the development of the CDMO infrastructure such as biofoundry, and very important on the enabler for investing and develop the business. That's also include incentive and also some rules and regulation that we need to relax to accommodate the investment in this technology and business. So we even have a vision together. Synthetic biology creates new economy and drive Thailand to achieve sustainable development goals based on biocircular and green or BCG economy model. So I think this is a new hope, and we have seen a growing market. There's an estimate of 30.7 trillion US dollars, and it's growing at a very high rate. And synthetic biology also attract a lot of attentions. If you follow that, countries like China, Denmark, Germany, Australia, Japan, Singapore, and the US, they all have invested in this technology and a rush in developing human resource. So I think we are on the right track. It's not only the economic purpose. Synthetic biology also offer solutions for ongoing perennial issues such as climate change, add value to our agriculture commodities. We have seen new discovery of new drugs and a number of solution treatment for environmental problem. And given that Thailand is located in one of the richest biodiversity in the world. We are one of the 36 global hotspots that we are rich in biodiversities. So this is something that it's our opportunities, to leverage on this new technology, to unlock the potential and provide new opportunities to develop new S-curve industries for Thailand. So we have seen a number of investments and successful business as has already been made in the country. We have heard about this investment in stevia sweetener. Probably all know about this, and a number of mRNA vaccine based on this technology, and also a new protein material for fibers, and a number of wastewater treatment based on this technology. We have seen researchers and universities has developed curriculum and joint effort to upskill, reskill workforce and engineers to support the investment. Actually, for Thailand, we are quite not that bad, I think, in the ranking. Up in total of 141 countries, my teams had looked up, and we are at 44 ranking in research and publication in synthetic biology related area. And we have a numbers of prototypes, and research results in laboratories. So the challenge is how do we bring this prototype and research to utilization and commercialization? And definitely public-private partnership are very key. We know about triple helix cooperation. So that's also touch on this, the roadmap that we have developed. And I think along all the sessions today, we will discuss this. How do we strengthen this partnership and to accelerate, the use of synthetic biology to utilization, commercialization? We didn't put a high hope that maybe we'll see new unicorn, from this cooperation and our consortium effort. So for the government, I think BOI has listed synthetic biology as one of the top of support incentives. So if you invest in this technology, you get the maximum BOI support. Also for Ministry of Higher Education side research and innovation, we also put this in as one of the flagship, in our research innovation plan. And also on the infrastructure, EECI, Eastern Economic Corridor of Innovation, has already invested in a facility, Biopolis. I think we will also discuss this today. That would provide a platform for academic to business and also business to business collaboration, and also link with the global. Not only the infrastructure that the government has invested, the private sector itself has invested in a number of biorefinery pilot plants, different sizes, to assist business in scaling up the production. So I think we are quite ready, and we have seen the ecosystem has been developed very quickly. I have to say that comparing to other industry for the past 2 years, the ecosystem for synthetic biology in Thailand has been developed very quickly, very good signs. And very pleased that there will have a joint venture. The CDMO will be launching very soon. So that would be a very new platform, and it will be the first, to the top of my knowledge, in Southeast Asia that would provide advanced and biotechnological plant, and also the platform for investment. So last but not least, thank you again. And I'm very excited that once again, this is good day 11/11. Every year we'll meet and update on the progress, and looking forward on the journey that we'll work together. So I would like once again to convey my appreciation to everyone that put the effort in driving this consortium forward and organizing this meeting. So I'm very excited and looking forward to the interactive and fruitful discussion today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kanchana. It's such a great welcome remarks. So, as she mentions, Thailand SynBio Consortium was established on November 11, 2021. And today is our first anniversary that all members has been working together. Here is the presentation video for all activities throughout the year that we have done. Please watch it.
การใช้เทคโนโลยีชีววิทยาสังเคราะห์เพื่อการกระจายตัวของแหล่งผลิตวัตถุดิบทำให้การผลิตชีวพันธุ์ต่างๆทำได้จากทุกที่บนโลกกระบวนการดังกล่าวยังช่วยลดผลกระทบต่อสิ่งแวดล้อมซึ่งสอดรับกับแผนยุทธศาสตร์ชาติภายใต้โมเดลเศรษฐกิจชีวภาพเศรษฐกิจหมุนเวียนและเศรษฐกิจสีเขียวหรือ BCG ทำให้สามารถแข่งขันและเป็นประตูสู่โอกาสสำคัญของการลงทุนในกลุ่มอุตสาหกรรมใหม่สถาบันนวัตกรรมเพื่ออุตสาหกรรมสภาอุตสาหกรรมแห่งประเทศไทยได้ริเริ่มโครงการก่อตั้ง Thailand Synthetic Biology Consortium เมื่อวันที่ 11 พฤศจิกายน พุทธศักราช 2564 เพื่อสร้างเครือข่ายความร่วมมือผลักดันและขับเคลื่อนอุตสาหกรรมเทคโนโลยีชีววิทยาสังเคราะห์โดยมีสมาชิกผู้ร่วมก่อตั้งทั้งจากภาครัฐภาคเอกชนและภาคอุดมศึกษารวมกว่า 17 หน่วยงานและในปีที่ผ่านมาคณะทำงานมุ่งเน้นความเป็นผู้นำทางด้านชีววิทยาสังเคราะห์ในภูมิภาคจึงได้ร่วมกันร่างแผนที่นำทางการพัฒนาระบบนิเวศชีววิทยาสังเคราะห์ของปีพุทธศักราช 2565 ถึงปีพุทธศักราช 2573 ซึ่งแบ่งออกเป็น 3 ระยะได้แก่ ระยะสั้นเพื่อวางรากฐานที่เข้มแข็งสร้างขีดความสามารถด้านการพัฒนาชีววิทยาสังเคราะห์ทั้งในและต่างประเทศระยะกลางเพื่อพัฒนาและขยายขนาดกระบวนการผลิตจากห้องปฏิบัติการสู่โรงงานต้นแบบพร้อมสร้างมาตรฐานการรับรองผลิตภัณฑ์ระยะยาวมุ่งเน้นการเพิ่มจำนวนผู้ประกอบการที่ใช้เทคโนโลยีเข้มข้นบนฐานของชีววิทยาสังเคราะห์จนนำไปสู่การสร้างอุตสาหกรรมใหม่และกุญแจสำคัญที่จะนำไปสู่การเปลี่ยนแปลงภาคีเครือข่ายชีววิทยาสังเคราะห์แห่งประเทศไทยได้กำหนดหมุดหมายสำคัญไว้ดังนี้ 1. จัดตั้งสถาบันวิชาการด้านชีววิทยาสังเคราะห์ SynBio Academy แพลตฟอร์มกลางในการผลิตและพัฒนาบุคลากรผู้เชี่ยวชาญเฉพาะให้มีความรู้ความเข้าใจในเรื่องต่างๆที่เกี่ยวข้องรวมถึงกฎหมายและกฎระเบียบผ่านหลักสูตรฝึกอบรมจากสถาบันการศึกษาภาคเอกชนและสถาบันวิจัยทั้งในและต่างประเทศ 2. จัดตั้ง National Bio Foundry เพื่อสนับสนุนการทำวิจัยไปจนถึงขั้นการขยายขนาดการผลิตและเข้าร่วมเครือข่ายพันธมิตรด้าน Bio Foundry ระดับโลก 3. ส่งเสริมให้เกิดหน่วยงานรับจ้างพัฒนาและผลิตระดับอุตสาหกรรมในประเทศเพื่อเป็นตัวกลางในการเชื่อมโยงจากการวิจัยไปสู่กระบวนการผลิตเชิงพาณิชย์ 4. ปรับปรุงระเบียบข้อกำหนดกฎหมายสำคัญโดยเฉพาะกฎหมายความปลอดภัยทางชีวภาพพระราชบัญญัติข้อกำหนดที่สอดคล้องกับกฎระเบียบระหว่างประเทศ 5. ส่งเสริมการวิจัยขั้นแนวหน้าด้านชีววิทยาสังเคราะห์เพื่อสร้างองค์ความรู้ใหม่พัฒนาเทคโนโลยีและนวัตกรรมรองรับความต้องการของภาคอุตสาหกรรมในอนาคตตลอด1 ปีที่ผ่านมาคณะทำงานได้ร่วมมือจัดกิจกรรมต่างๆเพื่อขยายเครือข่ายความร่วมมือและเพิ่มศักยภาพในการพัฒนาระบบให้เป็นไปตามเป้าหมายที่วางไว้นอกจากนี้ยังได้ขยายความร่วมมือไปสู่สากลโดยได้จัด Inter Business Trip เข้าพบคณะทำงาน Singapore Consortium for Synthetic Biology หรือ Synergy การเข้าร่วมงาน Hello Tomorrow Asia Pacific Summit 2022 และการเยี่ยมชมบริษัท GenScript Biotech Asia Pacific Headquarter บริษัทชั้นนำด้านชีววิทยาสังเคราะห์สำหรับปีนี้ภาคีเครือข่ายชีววิทยาสังเคราะห์แห่งประเทศไทยได้ขยายเครือข่ายความร่วมมือเพื่อเสริมความแข็งแกร่งและเพิ่มขีดความสามารถของประเทศไปสู่การเปลี่ยนแปลงที่ดีกว่าควบคู่กับการพัฒนาอย่างยั่งยืนและนี่ คือเป้าหมาย วิสัยทัศน์และพันธกิจอันภาคภูมิใจยิ่งของเราที่จะเป็นโอกาสอันยิ่งใหญ่ในการใช้ความหลากหลายทางชีวภาพและบุคลากรที่มีศักยภาพของประเทศให้ก้าวไกลไปสู่ระดับสากลพร้อมที่จะร่วมมือกับนานาประเทศเพื่อให้บรรลุเป้าหมายการพัฒนาที่ยั่งยืนของโลกในอนาคตต่อไป Thailand SynBio Consortium
So those are all activities that we have done together. Thank you so much for all your contribution. So we are still expanding steadily. So please join me to give our new member a warm welcome to our consortium, Thailand Center of Excellence for Life Science or T-Cells, Mahidol University, the Thailand Association for Biotech Industry, Global R&D Limited, and PTT Global Chemical Public Company Limited. Please give them an applause. I believe that with the efforts we put together, Thailand will be the SynBio hub in this region for sure. So before we have a quick break, I would like to invite all the people in the front row. Can you please just stand up because we will have the camera from the top there and go to down to see everyone. And also the second row, could you please just stand up, please? ค่ะถอดแมสด้วยค่ะ Okay. Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. So we will have a quick 15-minute break and we will come back for the next session at 11. During the break, we have the sponsor right here, the Genscript, and also the booth Biosphere right there. And we will be back at 11. Thank you. on the stage, please. Just a little bit before we start the next session, so may I would like or the representative from each member take a picture together on the stage. All the representative and speaker, please join on the stage. Yes, just take picture together. Dr. ขวัญชนิดค่ะ please welcome to ค่ะ Okay, such a great photo, and I think everyone is good. Like, please take off the mask, or if you're not sure, GenScript they are the one who create this, the spray nasal for prevent the COVID-19. So you can try it too. Yay! Smile. อาจารย์ ค่ะ เยี่ยมเลยค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you so much. We have a few minutes to set up the stage, and I promise we will move on to the next session. Okay. Okay. So for the SynBio Forum 2022 SynBio for Sustainable Development Goals, today we are such a great honor by our global partners, Germany, Republic of Korea, Singapore, and Thailand, to come together and share experiences and how to exchange what are the lesson each of our partner has learned about SynBio landscapes and ecosystem in different regions. Also, how do we connect to each other to make this community stronger? So from the people who from the online platform, if you have any questions during this talk, please feel free to leave your question in the Q&A box. And people in here, if you have questions, just feel free to ask the question. So for the discussion for how to link global SynBio with Thai economy, please welcome Professor Dr. พิมพ์ใจใจเย็น from WISTEC ค่ะ Please welcome on the stage. Dr. ภาคภูมิทรัพย์สุนทร from Naresuan University. Associate Professor Gustus Wavistus from Singapore Consortium for Synthetic Biology or Synergy, who came online today. Sure. Okay, the next speaker, Dr. Leni Ickerman from German Association for Synthetic Biology. Hi, Renee. And another speaker, Professor Dr. Dahi Lee, the Director of Synthetic Biology Research Center, Korea Research Institute of Bioscience and Biotechnology. Good morning, Professor. And the moderator for this session, Assistant Professor Dr. Pui Unjai from Mahidol University. So I will give the stage to Dr. Pui from now.
Okay, สวัสดีครับ welcome everyone to the discussion floor on SynBio SDG. Today we actually talking about how to link global SynBio with Thai economy, and you can see from our welcome remark from Dr. Kanchana that future of Thailand in synthetic biology is bright, but we want to also hear from our neighbors, and we are actually very grateful to have a very wonderful, participant from our alliance, from Synergy, from KRIBB, and as well as the German Association of Synbiology as well. So please welcome our speaker one more time so that we can actually start. Okay, ขอบคุณครับ. So let's hear from our very close neighbor, Singapore. Since we actually just, sent some of our representatives to Singapore to learn something from them, we actually have Dr. Wavisas with us today to share with us about what really happened now in Singapore, what is the advance they actually have in SynBio. So Dr. Wavisas, could you actually please share with us what actually happening in Singapore and what is the role of Synergy in development of synthetic bio in Singapore, please?
Hello everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't make it, even though I'm a neighbor, I couldn't make it to Thailand this time. I think already once recently, and I met most of you. And then I think I met the rest of you in Singapore a few weeks back. I hope you enjoyed your stay. And whoever I haven't met yet, like Pinchai that is sitting there, we have to change a lot of emails, but haven't met in person, then I hope we'll fix that soon. What is happening with Synergy? So Synergy, for those who might not know, Synergy is a government-funded initiative where we are supposed to create connections between academia, industry, and create an ecosystem of synthetic biology. So we are at the process of applying for more funding and a bit expanding the duration of Synergy and maybe expanding our team and also focus a bit more on translational outcomes. So I think we have done so far a good job in Singapore in creating some awareness and an ecosystem of synthetic biology. But what we want to do is actually help the nice research happening in the region into becoming taken over by the industry and making into products and applications. So that's what is next for us. I'm happy to hear what everyone else is thinking and how we can help each other in this pursuit.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Wavisas. In fact, this is actually a very good introduction for the Synergy and its role in development of SynBio in Singapore. So can we actually move on to Korea, to South Korea? So Professor Dahi Lee, could you actually share with us what is KRIBB and what is the role of KRIBB in development of, SynBio technology in South Korea, as well as, what is the state of SynBio in South Korea right now?
All right. It's an honor to speak about the SynBio in Korea. And the Korea Research Institute of Bioscience and Biotechnology, in short, KRIB. KRIB is a government research institute in Daejeon, South Korea. It is dedicated to biotechnology research across a broad span of expertise, from basic studies for the fundamental understanding of life phenomena to applied studies such as drug discovery, novel biomaterials, integrated biotechnology, and bioinformation. KRIB was established in 1985, and currently KRIB has two more campuses, where in the Ochang and Jeongeub in South Korea. Over 1,300 people are working now at KRIB, including 650 full-time staffs and almost 400 graduate students. The mission of CRIP is to carry out the R&D activities and the related project in the bioscience and biotechnology in South Korea in joint effort with the other research institute, academia, and enterprises at home and abroad. Also, we aim to disseminate the scientific research and technological development. For SynBio landscape in Korea, Korea will funnel $2.9 billion into research and development next year to promote 12 selected strategic technologies as part of the country's long-term future growth plan. Synthetic biology is included in these 12 selected strategic technologies and the top priority to promote in the biotechnology research area. The government recognized that synthetic biology can maintain growth momentum in the influential and emerging sectors. I think that the strategic technologies will affect our country's fate, so the government will do its utmost to lead the future growth and secure technology sovereignty. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Looks like Korea is actually doing a lot of investment on new technology, particularly in synthetic biology, and it's actually going to be fun to have a continued collaboration in the future. This is going to be a very good future together between us and South Korea. So actually, I would also like to ask Dr. René Inkermann from the German Association for Synthetic Biology to share what really happened in Germany and in EU. What is the role of the German Association for Synthetic Biology, and how the association could actually help develop synthetic biology and push synthetic biology industry in Germany as well as in EU? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'm very happy to be on the panel, by the way. So basically, GAS was founded in 2017, and we are a non-profit organization. And we are founded by PhD students, actually, with the goal in mind to build up a better network for all the synthetic biologists, be it in academia, be it in industry, but also a platform for discussing with politics. And the reason why we founded is that we saw that there was a lack of this platform, and believe it or not, but actually in Germany we have the problem that in politics that SynBio is not recognized as present as maybe in other countries. So there was really a need to highlight this more. And for this, as you already mentioned, we are also collaborating with other SynBio associations in Europe. So for example, 2 months ago, we hosted a panel discussion similar to this one here with SynBio associations from all over the world to gather ideas and also to understand how the landscape looks like in other countries, and also to learn from other associations or networks for our own SynBio association. What we also did, for example, in case of SynBio Netherlands, that we actually help other associations to form and to found. Exactly. And then and we are just this year starting to work really closely on specific projects with these SynBio associations. So, for example, next week we are planning events with SynBio Netherlands, or we, after the panel discussion, also looking into writing like white papers about like the SynBio landscapes all over the world. So there's a lot to do, but I think if we work together on the global scale, that would help a lot to improve the networking and improve overall the platform for SynBio.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we can actually work together to also help training Thai peoples as well. And we are actually just started, so this is actually going to be a very good start for Thailand Synthetic Biology Consortium, since we actually have a wonderful alliance from both, Singapore, South Korea, as well as Germany, which in fact that lead us back to Thailand. So what is the state of Synthetic Biology Consortium in Thailand? Maybe Dr. Phakphum can share with us his view.
Thank you for the question, Dr. Puay Unjai. So in fact, I can answer this question in two different parts. So for the part of SynBio Consortiums, we just start last year, start to form communities and figuring out what is our roles in the larger context of BCG economies. So you think about BCG economy, it's cover all the aspect of how we can build strong economies and also sustainable economies using the bioresource that already exists in our country, in our area. But we can think of SynBio as something that will turbocharge these BCG economies, right? Now, even though the SynBio communities in Thailand just started last year, we have different groups of researchers who has been doing the initial state of synthetic biology research back when it was called genetic engineering and also other types of biotechnologies a long time ago, maybe several decades ago, right? And the role of the SynBio consortiums would be to bring these people and also these resources together and try to make sure that we all benefit from all these kind of things. Let me give you one examples. So in Thailand, we even though we are developing countries, we have a lot of strength in BCGs, both on the biodiversity side and also on the bioproduction side. If you think about biodiversity side, we have all these wonderful plants and animals and microbes that we have not fully utilized them yet, right? And on the other hand, we have a capacity to create a lot of biomass. We are probably number one or number two producer of cassava and sugar cane, right? So if you think about these two sides, the biodiversity part, we can produce a lot of these, diverse and highly value, compounds and molecules, but we can't scale them up yet. Right. On the other hand, if you look at the biomass side, we can produce a lot of cassava or sugar canes and rice, right? But the value is low, right? So we try to figure out, how might we, use the engineering biologies to increase the value of this, biomass, and on the flip side, how can we scale up all these valuable, biodiversities that we have in the country. This is the thing that we try to figure out. Another thing to think about is that when we have the discussion about the Thai SynBio Consortium, we try to emphasize that this is not to replace BCG, right? Because a lot of this activity has been around for a long time. I talked to many researchers, my colleagues. They're like, oh yeah, we have been doing this for 20 years, even before I was born, right? There are people who work on foods, medical research or agriculture, environmental engineering, or those kind of things, right? And we try to figure out how to use SynBio as a platform that can serve everyone. You can think of a closely parallel example from systems biologies. When genomics and autoomics came along decades ago, right? It changed the way that we do biology, right? Not just agriculture, but also in medicines and our other area, right? So it's a central platform that everyone can use. And when we talk about central platform, it's not just the facilities, but also the know-how and the community of people who can talk to one another and share the knowledge, right? If you think about that side, if you think about design, build, test, learn cycle of engineering, the systems biology is more on the test and learn side. We do all this omics and we try to understand, how biological systems work. And systems biology already proved that, it can be a useful platform for everyone. Right? If you look on the other side, we still lag behind in terms of design and build. Right? So we try to think about, if SynBio, become a thing in Thailand, maybe this platform can serve everyone who has been doing BCG research and business since long time ago.
So very good overview of what we're happening in Thailand about synbiology, and clearly we are not trying to replace BCG. We're trying to actually grow together with everyone who actually works before. So we are agricultural countries and we have lots of strength, particularly in biodiversity and reproduction, as Pakub said. And this is actually a very good things that happen. So apparently we are trying to make SynBio as a thing, right, in Thailand right now. So that is a very, we are moving forward into a good direction. So can I actually invite Professor Jayen for, giving us a little bit about, your opinion about like how Thai SynBiology Consortium could actually play a role in development of SynBio in Thailand, and how can we link in the global market or global SynBio?
Okay, well, thank you, sir, Dr. Pui, and as well as like the whole consortium for inviting us to join and to participate. Like before I giving opinion, I think I need to analyze this based on facts. And in fact, the similar questions, like I was asked with a similar question by Kotas and for the NUS colleague, and so like a half a year ago. That Pimchai let's analyze for us what is the overview in the competitiveness in the global scale of the SynBio in Thailand. So we decided to do this part as research as well, on the literature research that what we have got in Thailand. So this is the manuscript. Hopefully that should be coming out in not too long, and hopefully that the community can use it together as a roadmap, what the policy that to go forward. But this is one of the picture that drawn by my postdoc, Dongtip Traisivirat. And so this is based on the Nexpo policy on the BCG. But how can we link that into the interpretation of the SynBio? Because in Thailand, and in my opinion as well, you want to do the SynBio, you need to be able to competitive in the global scale. And because we need to have the originality, we need to have the competitiveness. So everything should be declared, first in patent and then later on the publications. And so so that's why we look at what is going on. I agree with Dr. Pakub that I think among the competitiveness in Thailand is on the bio industries, because we have a lot of the bio productions. But in fact, all the industry, a lot of the owner industry, they are sitting here. They don't waste anything. So basically, they gain everything. The production themselves almost like a zero waste already, because they got everything. But except that our value in Thailand is quite low. That's all. Either you to become the commodity products, or your waste is it's not going to be beyond feed or the biogas. Or on that part. So SynBio, like Dr. Pakpum said, that then can be the instrument, can help doing things better. And then, just like I said, that I take this question that actually I was asked by Kotas, and, we take that as a research question. So then we analyze, we take the database, all the publication that been published by Thai authors in the last 10 years. We use the keywords that is relevant to SynBio. And you see that if we only use the keywords that relevant to SynBio, we have a very small numbers. But we also eliminate, the work that the corresponding author not in Thailand as well, because we really want to analyze on the technology that really established in Thailand. And then later on, we need to add some of the keywords, which is supposed to be the models that to help building this in the future, such as the biocatalysis or such as the biosynthesis. Because I think the SynBio, the scene in Thailand, that if we want to play the scene, it would be the one that to produce valuable chemicals. So then, we don't do the new cell, that in theory generation. That can be another branch of the SynBio challenge as well. But I guess that to be relevant to the BCG, we need to be relevant to the valuable production. So that's why we decided to include the keywords like the biocatalysis and as well as the biosynthesis, because that's based on the diversity as well, and as well as a tool to be competitive. So this is actually, that's what we got. We actually quite surprised as well when we first, see this number. So this is the number of the paper that published in the public domain that, by Thai author. that, like with the lab, that corresponding address in Thailand. And so, but it doesn't mean that we don't have anything exciting, Dr. Pu, but I guess that the SynBio work will take quite a long time to establish. I hear that, we have a lot of exciting projects going on. So hopefully, if we do this again in the next 2 years, 3 years, and then we have that the color of the pink color, much more shooting up and coming up. But this is our current scene. And then, but interestingly, and then we try to put this. So this is the SynBio design, build, test, learn. So we actually, like Dr. Dong Tip actually read a lot of the paper. We really do go down and analyze what was the technology that is existing in Thailand. And so this is what, and then we try to put the map together as a SynBio design, build, test, learn. So like a lot of work is still, because it's a big project, at least in our own experience as well, that the project that to do SynBio, it takes several years. It take a lot of investment as well. And then like in order to do the full scale, you will take some certain time. But we have the sort of modular, the one that Dr. Park Poom said, we have some of the system biology in the part that, people can do metabolomics studies. And then people do a lot of this, the production, like on the learn side. But the genetic engineering, has been quite, practice for Thailand for quite some time. And then a lot of the other thing that, we noted that I would say that it can be competitiveness for Thai, like consortium as well. Maybe it's a little bit of, my own experience that, we experience in the past, few years that like a lot of this work that coming up on the enzyme engineering, on the biocatalysis side. So that's why I just said that is a little bit of my own experience that involved in this part. But I think in this part, we have been building the capacity on that. And I hope that would be the competitiveness. That would be our proprietary technology. Because eventually we need to go to the point that if you really want the SynBio to be the instrument that to be really help in the Thai economy, we need to have the plan to work on all the way down in the full scale to the commercialization. Otherwise, would just only be the play. And yes, this will be my opinions based on research.
So thank you very much. This is a very comprehensive analysis for the technology that is actually related to synbiology in Thailand. I believe that there are a lot more genetic engineering work that might be missed out, but because a lot of people are actually working with genetic engineering for a really long time, but we haven't really put any kind of keyword that related to SynBio in there. So this is actually a very, very good overview. So thank you very much, Professor Chayen. So in fact, this is actually a really good open floor for the discussion. In fact, I would really love to hear from our neighbors as well, and maybe beginning from Singapore. What do you think? Which one is the important step for development of SynBio Consortium? As Dr. Pimchai said, that we have design, build, test, and learn. There are lots of steps, right? And we can actually potentially develop these kind of process, and then we have to develop prototype and push it to the commercial scale. So what is the important step, most important step that we should in fact focus on in order to fully develop, sustainable synbiology environment in, Singapore and, other countries? So maybe Dr. Wabisa, yes.
So when you have a cycle, every part of the cycle is important, because if you break the cycle, then the whole process breaks down, right? Mm-hmm. So you need to have good science happening at the beginning, at the universities and at the institutes. You need to have people that are excited and new students that have the skills and also the capacity and the knowledge to commercialize ideas or make startups or make companies. You need to have people that the big industry needs to hire and get them into the labs and do research. Then when you go towards the validation, you need to have mechanisms in place like funding, investors, and good support from the government to start companies. And you need, in the investment side, you need investors that have the patience to not go for like a quick up that will give something back in 2-3 years. They will need to wait 10 to 15 years to get the return on their investments. So it means that maybe other investment schemes have to be found like with the corporates or the government or something like that. And then each country needs to have find its own like key points and advantages into placing itself in where it stands in the global synthetic biology ecosystem. But also keep in mind that you don't necessarily need to compete because you are the guys that know better what is the Thai people need, what are the Thai people can do, and that's where you place. You don't have to be like, oh, US has more money or the UK has more companies or Singapore has a bit bigger GDP or something like that. I think you place yourself, you market yourself, you see where you have the biggest impact, and that's what the consortium can do. You know each other, you bring in each other in a friendly manner, and then you can find like which are the strong parts of the cycle and where you might need some help either from global partners like us or from friends or from the government or from the public as well.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. So manpower is important, technology is important, research is very important, as well as the cycle is important. So everything is important, right? Okay, thank you very much. So how about in South Korea? Is it the same or what is the difference? Do you have any different opinion or what do you want to add up? Professor Derhili? I think your microphone is mute.
Yeah. So I think he already mentioned all about that, but I didn't anything to add up.
So basically it's the same. So we have the cycle is important, everything is important. So absolutely, this is actually very, very good that we actually have, a very consensus agreement that everything is important. So how about in Europe? Dr. Rennie?
Kostas already mentioned it, but what I think is really important is the basic research, and I think that's where Germany and Europe is also really strong at. So like having good universities, having good basic research, and in my opinion, the research going on in European countries is really good. What's really sometimes lacking also in Germany is are startups. So I think countries and governments should really pay attention that the entry barrier to start a SynBio startup is not so high. So we really need the technologies, and we really need the intellectual property, and that can be just done in startups and not just in basic research. So if a country wants to become good at SynBio, invest in startups and look that there's enough venture capital and that it's possible to invest in startups.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Rennie. This is actually a very good link between the two. So we need manpower, we need basic research in order to push the technology forward, as well as we need entrepreneurship and liaison to link those two together. This is actually a very important step for completing a full cycle of how we can actually push the synthetic biology environment, in fact, ecosystem, to make sure that it's successful. So this is actually a really, really good conclusions. Thank you very much. So let's begin again with Dr. Rennie. In fact, I have read that you have participated in iGEM as well, right? So I want to hear about the manpower. In fact, I moved up some question in the list. But anyway, when we actually talk about manpower, since that was the first thing Dr. Kostas said as well. Manpower is important, research is important, right? So when we actually have to build manpower, we need to build both manpower from the basic research as well as the manpower for entrepreneurship, like startup and the liaison to link them between the two. So how can you incubate and nurture, people, the new generation, to build manpower to ready to push synthetic biology forward to the industry? At least in your opinion or in Germany. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think you already mentioned iGEM. So iGEM is a really good example where you can create a lot of excitement for young students for like taking part in a SynBio project, and then sometimes even pursuing that for either like publications and basic research, or even founding startups out of their iGEM projects. Like these participating and having funding and support for iGEM teams is definitely a good investment for a country. But besides from iGEM, it follows this very similar principles that you need to support and like have some kind of platform for these students to actually start their own projects. And then you also need courses and SynBio courses at the university. So like even in Germany, we are good at having like classical biology and biotech courses, but there was not so much specific SynBio courses or SynBio study programs in Germany. And that's also why we as GASP started a program called the SynBio Master Atlas, which is basically a map and a survey of where you can actually study and learn about synthetic biology at university. But I think it's really important that you have these study programs for young students, which are really focusing on synthetic biology.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So I also have another people actually contributing iGEM. Dr. Park Poom, can you share with us a little bit about, what do you think? How can we actually build manpower in Thailand? What do we need?
Yeah, so I think we can answer this in different angle, right? The first part, I just share from my experience. A lot of things that we can do like right now is to talk to the stakeholder, and stakeholder here is not just like the end consumers and the private sector, but also our fellow researchers. Over the past years, from my own experience, many of the research projects that I start to establish over the past years, it actually emerged from just a simple one-on-one conversations between me and my colleagues. And most of them never heard about synthetic biology, and they still don't care about synthetic biology, but they care about like what I can do for them. Right? Many of my colleagues work on microbial genetics. Some work on plants. Some work on stem cells. Right? So they are expert in their area, but they're still lacking something. It could be some part of the circles in the design build test cycle. It could be the manpower. It could be maybe just a tiny and specific techniques in the labs. But as we have a long conversation about that, we start to figure out, how SynBio can help them do their research better. And this is good for both of us because like these people have been working on, their whatever projects for a long time. So they already have the end customer. They already established in their field, right? We just add to them the genetic engineering capabilities, and that can help us grow the SynBio community really quickly. That's one part. And if you link back to iGEMs, from my experience, I have never been to the actual iGEMs, but back when I was in the US, my supervisor was one of the founder of iGEMs, and one of the story that I heard over and over again is that we need to invest in the young people because these are the people who are not constrained by whatever limitations that even I myself has been experienced in the past, right? So they are free thinker, right? And by investing in these young people over a long period of time, you can see the community growth. iGEM started back in 2003 as a classroom at MIT with like 20 people, right? And over the past like 2 decades, it became global communities. And SynBio, as we know it, arguably has been defined by iGEM because these are people who has been through iGEMS, has been an advisor, a mentor of iGEMS, right? So they have the common language to talk about engineering biologies, right? And as these people grow and become a professor, or work in a startup, or become a founder, or become a business person, they still share the common language, right? And with this common language, the communities can grow, right? So I think if we are to invest, in people, we need to invest in these young people and make sure that we have the common language to exchange what we know and our passions, and that's going to be good for not just our country but also the SynBio community in the long run.
So that's a very good summary for the iGEM as well. I would like to hear from the academia as well as the research institution. Let's hear from Professor Jae-hee Lee first. What is the strategy to build manpower in SynBiology in Korea? So
I think the last 2 decades have been vigorously activity in, I think, synthetic biology research, but the teaching synthetic biology is very rare, especially when compared to the other science and engineering disciplines. In Korea, there are only 3 universities that offer synthetic biology programs or classes, so none of which is at the undergraduate level. So rather than taking place in formal academic setting, many Korean undergraduate students are introduced to synthetic biology through internet or the SNS. Although the iGEM competition has had a transformative impact on synthetic biology training in other countries, its impact in Korea has been relatively modest, I think. Consequently, the iGEM competition remains a major setting for synthetic biology education in Korea. So we have to promote the further development of a synthetic biology education system for the next generation SynBio students or the researchers, I think. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. This is actually a very good step, right, for iGEMs and to build the younger generation. This is very important. How about in Singapore, Dr. Costas? Do you have anything to add up?
So in Singapore, I think there is more interest in the higher level of research happening in synthetic biology, and I think there is a tradition of teams going to IGM or participating in competitions. What I was adding, hearing every other speaker telling about countries and their experiences, I remember my own experience. So when I was a student in Greece, my home country, I had heard nothing about synthetic biology and there was no tradition. And I remember that the lessons we were having were about scientists in the labs doing things and the science, of course. Then when I moved to Sweden to do my master's, I started interacting with companies. People coming in and telling us, oh, we do this, we do that, our scientists do that. And I found it's like a new thing opened up. That, oh, there's this, there is interest. So what I would say, besides the government and what participating in global initiatives, you that are university teachers, invite industry people at your lessons, give industry talks, have the students talk to companies and see what they do, and then they will start thinking. Besides only staying in academia and doing a postdoc, but also think how they can help their country, their community, their family, then by just commercializing research. So that's something you can think of. It's small things that you can do yourself. So as you build excitement and you bring more people in, of course, people will be, why do I care? Why? What can I gain? So that probably has to be addressed at a higher level. So if the government is giving grants on synthetic biology, then people, university researchers will be more interested in that because they will want to compete about the grants.
Yep, absolutely. This is actually very interesting. And in fact, we also have one of the, the dean of the leader institution that leads SynBiology in Thailand. So Professor Chayen, could you actually please share your opinions about, how could we actually develop the next generation of synthetic biologists in Thailand that could actually lead us to sustainable development in SynBio in Thailand?
So I think it probably won't change the way that the good like academia that we would like to train the graduate students. Maybe I share in the view of the graduate student training, because I thought Pak Poom already talked about the iGEM, which is more as the inspiration for the younger, like the students. I think, like when we look at the SynBio, I think it's a perfect merging between the frontier science plus engineering like perspective. And so you need to do the exciting science, to do the cutting edge, like technology, the frontier science, as well as you need to take the application mindset in the end goals. So I think that's what I see. So then I would say that, if I take from my own experience, how do I train my people, like our people, so then, like they can be ready to be the manpower for the SynBio in the future. I think it won't change the way that we do normally. So the first thing is that I think the most important thing is a solid research methodology. So then that part at the special skills relevant to the SynBio. So then that make it a special, that what would be the cutting edge technology. So what would be the frontier science? What would be the challenging problem, the most difficult problem? So usually we try to do the most difficult problem that we can do. Like the problem that sometimes we are not sure, are we going to succeed or not? But if you have that type of the thing, it means you already push the boundary. So then I think, if you put the team that they are familiar with, like doing that type of the cutting edge type of the research, so then they are ready to go and face, like in their own future. Either they are going to be part of the team in the industries and to do the part of, like their own startup or do something. But at the same time, besides a specific skill, I think it's still the generic research methodology. So the way that how can they come up with a new question to be asked? How would they decide the experiment? How do they solve the problem? I think that we just require them to be on the solid, basically the footwork that they need to do. But for the SynBio, I would think that, like another part that is also very important for the training, the mature manpower at that stage is that we need to connect them to the users. Users can be industries, user can be whoever that still having the pain points that they want you to solve. So then they need to have that specific mind as well, like perspective. Because otherwise, we will train them to be the researcher in their own comfort zones. And then because this type of the work that you need to be able to go around and actually relate it and to be more resilient, like when you work on the problem.
Absolutely.
So I think still doing my summary is that still doing the frontier science, still to do the exciting technologies, to still do the blue sky project. But at the same time, look at the user, look at the application aspect, train them on both aspects. Yeah.
Very, very good answer. So here is another question. So maybe now begin from Korea. So in fact, when we talk about frontier science, right, how can, government invest in the infrastructure in order to be able to, move forward the frontier science, some of the deep tech into the industry? Because we know that we do a lot of frontier science as well already, but how can you actually move forward? Or how should, university and government invest money in order to push the SynBiology into the market and develop frontier science at the same time?
In Korea, the government is the government plays a very important role to incubate and also commercialize deep tech. So the Korean government encouraged the researchers and professors to start their own business using their own developed technologies, including the synthetic biology. Also, the government joined hands with the global companies such as Google and Airbus in order to help more deep tech startups here to expand overseas and to grow into unicorn companies. The Korea Startup Ministry will provide collaboration opportunities with the global venture capital firms, starting with the Korea and the US startups, such as to attract the skilled synthetic biologists from overseas to Korea, the special visa program will also be established. this kind of program made together with the 9 global companies, including Google and Airbus. So this kind of program will help 270 local startups go abroad starting in 2023. So I think that these startups in Korea will also be able to utilize global networks and infrastructures that larger domestic companies have established their overseas market, I think. So this global unicorn project of synthetic biology will also be launched next year so that the startups are looking to expand overseas can receive the consulting from private consulting firms to establish strategies necessary to the globalization. So I think that the Korean government is definitely promoting synthetic biology, the commercialization. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. This is actually a very good message to us. We need to also link to the global scale, and that actually related to our discussion today as well, how to link our Thai economy to global symbology community. This is actually very interesting. So how about in Singapore? Dr. While with us, could you actually share with us a little bit what do you think how government in Singapore actually help invest in SynBio, both in research and in entrepreneurship in order to actually push forward it into the more sustainable economy?
They give money to organizations like Synergy. So, yes, we are publicly funded. We are supported by the government. And it's one example of how Singapore is trying to act on many levels of the chain that we said. Academia, there is funding that goes. I think, yes, there are programs and schemes specific for synthetic biology. And then there is translation money and not specific for synthetic biology, but then startups of any kind can apply. And then we have the big industry, which is many of the bigger companies around the world have regional headquarters or presence in Singapore. And then you have something like Synergy, which tries to connect the dots and find information and expertise and the gaps between all those players and bring them all together, working with the different institutes. So I think that's one example of getting a few, being a bit strategic and having an entity and people that can be a bit flexible, understand different needs and connect dots together can help quite a bit. Singapore is a small country, and most of the money going into research and development come from the government and external funding. So that is a small restriction, not small, but it's quite restricted the way you do things. It's not like Germany where you have national funding, state funding, and even European funding or global initiatives. So that's something we cannot, we are a bit constrained in that. However, what I hope to see is more even if the governments coordinate a little bit and think that yes, synthetic biology is a way to solve some of the region challenges, then you see some initiatives and mobility around Asia and South Asia or the whole Asia as well. That's just a hope.
Okay. Thank you very much. So funding is important, linking is important, connection is important as well. So if we can actually analyze our strengths, then we can actually make a global partnership and we can actually develop together as well as the government actually can help, right? So how about in Europe? I know that Germany have a very unique system. Like, I know that you have research institution that work with the business sectors as well as you have the university that do research, or hardcore research as well as developing, lots of interesting science. So can you share with us what is your opinion, like what kind of help government can do in terms of investment in order to develop a sustainable synthetic biology community in Germany?
So in general, I think every country should think about like a long-term strategy or national strategy for synthetic biology. And even Germany has not included really SynBio in their strategy paper. So I think there's still a lot of work to do. So on the other hand, governments can really also invest into technologies. So I think things like biofoundries or biofoundry capabilities to have the automation capabilities for developing more SynBio technologies or DNA synthesis, DNA sequencing. All these technologies are really key, and you need really very good access to these technologies. Of course, you can also rely on global alliance on these technologies, but it's also good to invest or like have the government investing in these technologies within the country, in my opinion. Exactly.
Okay, so we need to have, you know, the technology that is necessary available in the country. That would be best, right? So I actually have a question from the audience and said, well, you know, it was interesting why there is no domestic companies. I think that we will actually think about that. So the question is actually why there is no domestic company producing primer or sequencing service. I guess it's in Thailand, but I mean, there are numbers of it, in fact, but somehow many of us still use, you know, partnership from other country to help us because in fact, it's actually more convenient that way. But absolutely, the technology is actually in Thailand, and sometimes it's actually limited in some institution, and that is the thing. I think we can actually increase the numbers of investment in this regard and help encourage company to, you know, get into this kind of business more. I think this is actually very interesting. We are running out of time, but I would like, you know, all the speakers to wrap up. So maybe just, you know, a short sentence about, you know, how could we actually, you know, become a global partnership, you know, between Thailand and other countries. How can we actually help each other in order to build a sustainable synthetic biology, you know, together as a community? So how about our neighbor, Singapore? Dr. Wawitsas, could you start?
I think we're doing a good job already. We started visiting each other and coming to each other's events. So I think we can keep up, you know, the good work. From Singapore and Synergy, I can say with very pleasure that we are very happy to interact with our neighbors and friends. And please let me know if there's anything we can help with, either your challenges you may have, or if you're thinking of a new initiative and you want some opinion external from us or our professors about, you know, if it's a good idea or if we've done something similar and it worked. And I think many of you are in our mailing list, and I hope I am on your mailing list, and then, you know, tell each other about the things we do, and we are very excited. The other thing is that, as Pinchai mentioned, that we have this special issue that I'm editing myself, so a different hat, about global synthetic biology landscape. And yeah, there will be some work there about finding each other. Germany had a nice article there already. And in the next few months, we'll have publications from various places around the world. So yeah, maybe we can wrap it up and in 2-3 years see what has changed also.
Okay.
And thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. This is actually a very good summary. So thank you very much. I do believe that people will contact you because you actually give us, you know, your contact address, you know, in your background. Absolutely. You will actually hear from some of us, right? And in fact, I also love Korean series. So why don't we actually hear a little bit, you know, about, you know, a wrap-up statement from Dr. Dehili. What is the...
Yeah, I think maybe Thailand is now starting to promote the synthetic biology ecosystems. So maybe you guys first build some synthetic biology ecosystem and then the biofoundry also. So and enter the global biofoundry alliance, because when you guys are enter the global biofoundry alliance, you can get more information and more collaboration with other countries. So we already entered the GBA and also we get more information and collaborations through that. So maybe you guys first used the kind of the collaboration system. Also, I think you already mentioned that Thailand is rich in some biomass and the resources. So there is another important strength of the Thailand. So maybe using those kind of the resources, then you guys can collaborate with others, the synthetic biology countries such as the South Korea, because we need more biomass or the resources to apply the synthetic biology tools and the technologies. Maybe that is a starting point to collaborate each countries. Yeah, between each countries. Yeah, that is all.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Can I hear from Germany, Dr. Rainey, please?
Yeah, I think it's really important to have more conversations like exactly this one, so that we invite each other to events like that, and that we really think about like not just the local problems in our own country, but to understand the problems in other countries as well. Because like if the SynBio landscape in other countries is blooming, this also helps in the end, in the more long term, for the goals of your own country. So having this global network and these global conversations, how to help each other, I think it's really, really important. And we really should not just act on a national scale, but always try to connect to the different countries and to the rest of the world. Exactly.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's a global effort. SynBio can actually help mankind not only improve production. We have food crisis. We might be able to actually produce more food by synthetic biology, as well as we can actually do a lot more in terms of helping environment. We have COP27 right now in Egypt, and we know that we have not moving toward the right direction that much. So maybe SynBio can help a lot of things on that as well. So can we actually have one wrap-up statement? We run out of time. So can I actually just ask Professor Chien to actually give us some wrap-up sentence?
I think I agree with you guys that like connecting to the global scale in the like biofoundry, like doing this type of the collaborations, have the meetings. That part of the like the way or the tools to connect to the global community. But the other thing is, if particularly for Thai, like the technology that we really want to be accepted, that part of the contributor in the global scale. I think we just need to do the best science that we can, the best science, best inventing the best technology that people can actually look at us as the part of the community that we really contribute like into the development of the field. So then I think I just say to all the researcher that we just have to continue to be creative, like to come up with like our own initiation, that to do the research, to create the innovation that you can really showcase, like into the world, make the world proud, that, like make us proud that this is the technology that contributing from Thailand, but at the same time, continue to do whatever that collaborations that you do with the industries, and then make that as a showcase. So then in this way, the like say the world is moving, the science of the world is global scale is moving forward, because every part of the world, like in the Thai scene, this is what we do with the local industries. This is what we do with the local limitation of the contribution. I think do the best science and then continue collaboration to make things happen.
Thank you very much, and that is actually a very good wrap-up message. So we need to have our own strength, and we have to have our own contribution to the global community. And as long as we have things to offer, we can actually have a very sustainable global partnership. And thank you so much, Professor. And I would actually want to give back the mic to Dr. Miu, right? Okay, ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is such a great session. Like, I believe that we can see the connection, the collaboration in the future for sure. And also in the variant mingles. So may I ask like all of you to take a picture together? Like three of you, can you just like stand on this side behind the SynBio? Yeah, it's going to be hybrid, right? New normal. So, อาจารย์คะ could you please stand like behind the scene นะคะ
You need to send me the picture to post it online.
Yeah, just smile like right there. ได้ไหมคะ Okay. Okay. Is it good? Okay, smile. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kotas, Renee, and Professor Dehali. I'm really appreciate for your kindness to be here today. Thank you. Okay ค่ะ next นะคะ I would like to yes please still stay here a little bit like because I would like to invite คุณกิติพงษ์ลิ้มสุวรรณโรจน์นะคะ CEO BBGI Public Company Limited to be on the stage to present the souvenir to the speakers and take another photo together.อาจารย์ โอเคค่ะ Okay,ค่ะ. So from now, the morning sessions has been end, and we will have a lunch break, which is located on the second floor CC building. Our staffs who wearing the Biosophia t-shirts, could you raise your hand, the staff? We'll lead you, or the staff will lead you to the area, and we'll be back in the afternoon session at 1 p.m. and we will discuss about Thai SynBio roadmap. So on your page, you can see the QR code is a folder, Google Drive folder that we're leading to. It's contained the SynBio roadmap draft on that day. So if you have a chance, please take a look and see, and we will discuss about that in afternoon. Okay, let's go to have lunch. Thank you so much.